What's up again, guys? Brian here at 3TR, bringing you my weekly Q&A show, episode 151 of People's Questions. And I gotta say, I thought last week's episode were big. You guys are just insanely awesome because this episode's even bigger. We got even more questions and they are even more awesome. So before I begin, I would just like to thank the 11 of you for sitting in this massively long list of questions, which always helps me out. And I've decided to start a new tradition with my title cards. If you happen to send in, when it comes to sending your question for the next episode, if you happen to have my favorite question of this particular episode, I'm not only going to save it last, it will be the title card. So if you recognize your question in the title, then you know who you are and you had the best question of the episode. So starting off real simple with the first two questions coming from a new subscriber of mine. I gotta apologize because I don't know how to pronounce this and my computer couldn't translate this. So I'm gonna leave a picture of your name, your subscriber name, like in that general area. I apologize, I can't pronounce this, but there it is. So your two questions were, first one was, where would I suggest to you that you buy your new games from? And where do I buy my games? The main online site that I used to buy my games is Amazon. Amazon's usually pretty good, especially if you're an Amazon Prime member like I am, because you know, you get like free shipping. They usually get it to you on release day, and I don't know. I don't like going to game stores anymore. I very rarely like to even step foot inside game stores. So if I had to pick a site to purchase your games from, it would be Amazon.com. And your second question is it also possible for you to buy Game Boy Color games? Yes, you can. You can still buy Game Boy Color games off of Amazon. I'm actually planning on buying another charger. My charger originally was snapped a couple days ago for my Game Boy SP, so I gotta buy a new one. And there's also a few games I also want to purchase it for the Game Boy Advance SP as well. So yeah, Amazon is a great place to buy new games and old games, so that's what I would recommend. The next three questions come from JB Summers, hope I said that right, and he wants to know, what is the weirdest way you or someone I know has gotten high? Well, I've never been high, and I don't know anyone who has. Drunk, maybe, although I've never actually experienced anyone get super drunk. Maybe a little tipsy, but not like super drunk. So I guess in terms of tipsy, I guess we were just at a bar just drinking a couple of random drinks just to try them out. So I guess that's the closest to getting high. Next question is, am I going to review the worst video game I've ever played? Oh God. Okay, I'm just letting you guys know, I know what you're talking about. I like to save a video for that for a very special occasion, and I am getting very close to hitting 4,000 subscribers. So when I finally hit 4,000, which, you know, I'm going to talk more about goals I have for the channel this year, probably in a future video, probably will be up in the next day or two. When I finally hit 4,000, I'm going to upload a video, and I'm going to give you guys 3 videos that I want to do, but then again, I don't want to do, and whichever one that you guys want to see the most, that's what I'm going to do, because it's a special occasion, so I feel the need, I need to put up a very special video. So wait for that day to come. Hopefully it happens in the next couple of weeks. Your last question is, what is my favorite Borderlands game? I'm actually not a fan of Borderlands. Jets, sorry. My brother is. I've tried playing the second one, and for one reason or another, I just could not get into it. I mean, I know that it's got a massive following, and you know, I'm happy for it, but I'm just not a Borderlands fan. The next question comes from CanFrex358, and he wants to know, what is the first game I ever played? Oh, that's an easy one. The first video game I ever played was Super Mario Land on the Game Boy Pocket, which, you know, I talked about it in my top 5 video games I never finished video. So that's the first video game I ever played. And I do plan to find a copy of that and beat it, because I feel like I need to do that. The next 2 questions come from Draven G, and he wants to know, what time period would I like to see Assassin's Creed movie take place in? Well, from what I've heard, it's going to take place during the time of Altair. I think that's who Michael Fassbender might be playing. I might be wrong. We're still a little, you know, muddled as for exactly what the details of the Assassin's Creed movie are going to be, but that's just what I've heard from rumors and reports. And your last question is, do I think the main character will be a ready, established character from the games? Yeah, that's, as I said before, I heard that he was going to play Altair. I mean, if they're going to do anything with the Assassin's Creed movie, I hope to God, take the anime shit out. I never liked it. I don't like Desmond. I don't like this having to constantly jump out of the animus and do all this exploring. I don't give a shit. Just keep us in the past and gradually move us towards the future, because it's annoying even in these newer games. Just take that stuff out. I don't care about being some employer using my genes to access all these memories of different assassins. I don't care about that. Take the anime shit out right now, because that is the one thing I hate about these Assassin's Creed games, regardless of how good the combat and gameplay or story is. Now, the next number of questions come from the Father Monster Show, and you want to know, what is my opinion on the Batman Arkham series, and what is my favorite game in the series? Undoubtedly, my favorite entry in the Arkham franchise is the first one. The first one, it did everything right, and I loved Arkham City. I think it was a lot bigger than it was bigger in every way than Arkham Asylum. I just think that it had problems. I mean, the bigger the scope, the more problems there were. And Arkham Origins, though not a bad game, I didn't think it's a worthy prequel to Arkham Asylum. But I'm really hoping that Arkham Knight knocks it out of the park. And from what I've heard from a couple of things that they may do with the storyline and a couple of the gameplay elements and DLCs, it looks like it could seriously do that and become probably my favorite entry in the Arkham series. Your next question is, what is the one game that has disturbed me the most? Dude, disturbed me. Manhunt. Really disturbing game. I mean, if you guys remember, it was like this game where you were kidnapped and you were thrown in this show, and basically the whole objective was you had to kind of kill these psychos in really just disturbing ways. Basically, it's like, take Saw and put it in the arena of the Running, Arnold Schwarzenegger's The Running Man. It's a mixture of the two. It's not a real good combination. It wasn't something I really felt comfortable playing. Next question is, have I ever given up on a game completing? Wait, have I ever given up on a game completely? Yeah, I just did a video. Check it out. 5 games. I couldn't finish these games for one reason or another. Next question is, what is my opinion on the Rainbow Six franchise? It's okay. It's not a franchise that I'm particularly interested in. It's just something about it that just throws me off. I mean, it's definitely the type of shooter that I would like to play, because it's certainly team-based, but for one reason or another, I've never been able to get a team together for us to actually enjoy a real, true co-op experience in the Rainbow Six franchise. The next set of questions come from Arturo Altacado, and he wants to know, do I plan on getting a PS Vita or a Nintendo 3DS? At this point in time, no, I've never been interested in the Nintendo 3DS, and in terms of a Vita, I don't really see the point. I can't think of any games on there that I would even be interested in playing. I mean, I'm still playing my PSP from time to time when I go out, so as much as I think the Vita is a cool system, and I just... What game, if I were to get a Vita, what game would you recommend I get for? Because I've seen its library and there's just nothing on it that I would purchase a Vita for to play, so no. Next question is, what apps do I have on my phone? Right, that's an interesting question. Well, let me run through a couple of them. Let's see. Apps that I have on my phone. Let's see. Well, let's start from the beginning. Let's see. I got Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Hulu, Netflix, Messenger, YouTube, hockey game, Tetris, Tic-Tac-Toe, 3D chess, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Wells Fargo, Autoglow, calendars, camera, Google, Internet, Hangouts. Those are just a couple of apps just to name off the back. Next question is, most original game I've ever played? I don't know. That's a real tough question. Original. I guess, I'm not sure if this is original, I guess the closest I can think off the top of my head is maybe DDR. Because at the time when DDR was new, nothing like that had ever existed before. As far as I'm aware, I still play DDR. I mean, I have a DDR machine at work that I like to play before and after working on my breaks. Maybe I'll do a video of that. But yeah, I guess in terms of originality, probably DDR. And your last question is, who would win in a fight between Solid Snake versus Batman? Ooh. As much as I would like to say Solid Snake, I think Batman is definitely a much more better combatant, and I think he has a lot more effective gadgets. I mean, Solid Snake is a skilled soldier, but he would kind of fall into the same line as someone like Deathstroke, and I think even Deathstroke is more skilled than Solid Snake, so yeah, no doubt Batman could easily take down Solid Snake. Next series of questions come from Nearly Jesus, and you want to know, have I played many indie games? I've played a few, but I can't recall them. I know I've played some of them, just not many of them. And this kind of goes into your second question, which is, what would be my favorite? I don't know. My mind's blank on terms of indie games right now, so I'm sorry, I can't really answer that question. Your next question is, what is my favorite Nolan movie? And surprisingly, it is not The Dark Knight. My favorite Christopher Nolan film, which for those of you that don't already know, Christopher Nolan is my favorite director, and that is actually Inception. Yeah, I mean, as much as I love The Dark Knight, and that really did change my whole viewpoint on movies, I thought that this movie was probably a little bit better because I felt it was a little bit more original, and I enjoyed it just as much as The Dark Knight. But the thing that The Dark Knight had over this film was that it was a sequel to an already great film, and so this was kind of self-containing, and I kind of appreciate movies that don't need a sequel or a prequel for you to enjoy as much as I did. So, yeah, Inception. Just as a friendly little fact of mine, I buy all Christopher Nolan's movies are the only movies I like to buy on Blu-ray, but heck, that's just me. Your next question is, can I think of any certain mechanics that I would make for a game to be truly original? I don't know. I'm not sure what mechanics haven't been used in any game. I mean, we're at a period of time where if you can think it, then you can do it accurately. So I'm not really sure if there's any ideas that are considered original in the term of gaming. Next question is, will I be getting the Halo Master Chief Collection when I get an Xbox One? Yes, definitely. I'm kind of in a little bit of a limbo state with the Xbox One. I do plan on getting it, but I really originally wanted to get it for Sunset Overdrive, but I will definitely be getting the Master Chief Collection if I can find it at like a sales price. Next question is, where would I like to see the next Call of Duty game set? Vietnam, World War I, World War II, or the far future? Screw the future. All the Call of Duty games right now are in the future. Ghost took place in the future, and Advanced Warfare took place in the future. Let's get away from the future, because the future looks just not interesting at all. I would love to go back to World War II. I think some people might think that's a little bit old, but heck, I wouldn't mind, because, you know, World War was my favorite Call of Duty of all time. But I think World War I would be interesting. I don't recall any of the Call of Duty games going near World War I. I think that would actually be kind of refreshing. And we can't really do Vietnam because that's really what the whole point of Black Ops was. So we've already been to Vietnam. So if I had to pick, yeah, let's see if we can go to World War I. That certainly would seem like a bit of a challenge. And your last question is, do I have any actors or actresses that instantly attract me to a film that they're in? No. Trust me, if I'm going to see a film, I'm going to see a film just for the film, not because a certain actor or actress is actually in that film. The next two questions come from Christian Kendricks, and you want to know, what is my #1 video game of all time? Okay, I've answered this question 100 times before, and I'm sure I'm going to answer it 100 times more after this. It's on par. There are two games that sit in that position for specific reasons. There's favorite game and most important game. And I can't really have one without, I can't really have my favorite one without the most important one. But at this point in time, my favorite video game of all time is Metal Gear Solid 3. I mean, also due to the fact that I have 6 different copies of it. But without Final Fantasy VII, it would not be Metal Gear Solid 3. Because Final Fantasy VII really is like the most important video game I've ever played, because that is the game that made me a story-driven gamer. So if I didn't have 7, I wouldn't have 3. So that's why they're kind of on the same level for me. Even though I'm openly admitting that Final Fantasy VII is not my favorite Final Fantasy game in the franchise. 10 is, but you know, that's why 7 is important to me. Your next question is, what got me into gaming? My cousin. My cousin was originally, when I was a kid, he was kind of the gaming guru of the family, and then he introduced me into gaming, and then he retired, and now I'm the, quote, gaming guru of the family. So that's what got me into gaming. The next two questions come from JDS4696, and you want to know, Am I happy with the new PlayStation Now monthly service fee? No. I'm not happy with it at all because I'm not going to get PlayStation Now. I think it's a stupid service and I don't plan to use it. Next question is, do I think that all PlayStation 3 games will eventually be streamed on PlayStation 4? I think that's an idea that they could pull off, but the thing is I wouldn't use that service because I already got all my PlayStation 3 games right here. And my PlayStation 3s are right there, so I'll just pop them in. I don't need to play them on PlayStation 4. The next two questions come from Ace Arcade, and you want to know, do I have a favorite video game company, one that delivers quality games most of the time? Yes. Anything made from Hideo Kojima has always been nothing but gold. I don't even think he's even made a bad game, so I guess Kojima or Konami would be my favorite gaming company of all time, or as it stands right now. And the last question is, have I seen the Heavenly Sword movie? No. Played the game, wasn't really a big fan of it, so I have no interest in seeing the movie. And the last two questions come from the man who had my favorite question of the episode, and he simply wanted me to call him the awesome subscriber, Pedro. So, Pedro, your first question is, as I love history, do I consider making a top 5 or top 10 best historical films video? Yeah, sure, undoubtedly. You earned that. So, probably, if not the next video, the video after that one will certainly be my top 5 favorite historical films video. And right now, going into the best question of the episode, what was the best event I ever went to? E3 2013 or SKILLCON 2014? That is a very, very tough one. Going to E3 in 2013 was an absolutely amazing experience because it was something as a gamer I had always wanted to do, and it solidified exactly what I wanted to do and what I want my career to be. The thing about going to E3 though was that the only thing I hated about it was that I went by myself, and so I kind of felt like I was a small fish jumping into the ocean. And so, although I did a lot of crazy things, I played all kinds of games and went to conventions, met a lot of really cool, interesting people, and I even met Rachel for the first time there. I left E3 knowing exactly what I wanted to do with my life and what type of career I wanted to do. But going to SKILLCON, it was much more contained, and I went there not expecting anything, and I ended up leaving making 2 really great friends, and that really did change me as a person because now I know how to direct my life for the future and what type of person I want to be. And so I can't really decide. E3, I went in not knowing what to do, and I left knowing what I want to do with my life in terms of career. And with SKILLCON, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't think it was going to be anything special, and I ended up leaving knowing what to do with my life in terms of, you know, personal traits. So, I'm sorry, I can't really pick. It's about even. Hopefully, maybe if I go to E3 for 2015, I'll be able to combine these 2 experiences, and maybe that will be the defining experience of my life. And that ends this particular episode of People's Questions, episode 151. I would like to thank you guys for making this episode even bigger than the last one, I think. If you guys have any questions that you would like me to answer in the next episode, be sure to type it in the comments down below. But make sure you get them into me before next Wednesday, before I start filming this. And if you like this episode of People's Questions, be sure to like, comment down below, and please subscribe to track me in my future episodes of People's Questions. And like always, thank you guys for watching. You're awesome, and I will see you next time.